Hello guys! Welcome sa Cup of Teach. In this video, we are going to talk about the properties of operations on integers. Our targets in this video is first, review operations on integers. Then second, identify and illustrate the different properties of operations on integers. Before we start the discussion, let us review the different operations on integers. So let us perform the following operations. The first one, negative 3 plus 9. So we have here a plus. So ibig sabihin, we have to add. And if we are adding integers, tatandaan natin yung integer song. Same sign, add and keep. Different sign, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number. So in this situation, we have a different signs na integers. So, ang kailangan natin gawin, we have to subtract. So, isusubtract natin yung 9 minus 3. We will have 6. And keep the sign of the bigger number. So, the bigger number here is 9. And 9 here is positive. Therefore, the sum is positive 6. Next, we have 4 plus negative 13. So, we have a plus sign. So, addition ulit. And since they have different signs, kailangan natin mag-subtract. So, 13 minus 4, we will get a 9. And keep the sign of the bigger number. Since the bigger number here is 13 and the sign is negative, the sum is negative 9. Next, we have 8 minus negative 5. So, we have here a minus. So, magsusubtract tayo. And kapag tayo magsusubtract, dapat tandaan ang ko-cha-cha or copy, change, change. So, copy yung first number, 8. Then, change the minus sign to plus sign. Then, change the negative sign to positive sign. Okay? So, now we have 8 plus 5. So, naging addition na siya. So, tayo ngayon ay mag-a-add. 8 plus 5, we will get 13. So, since they are both positive, the answer is positive 13. Next, 7 minus 10. Subtraction ulit. So, we have to do ko-cha-cha. So, copy 7. Change the minus sign, gagawin nating plus sign. Then, this is a positive 10. So, we will have to change it to negative 10. So, meron na tayong addition and we have different signs na integers. So, we have to subtract ulit. So, 10 minus 7, the answer is 3. So, which is bigger, 7 or 10? So, we have here 10. Mas malaki yung 10. And the symbol for 10 is negative. Therefore, the answer for our question is negative 3. Next, we have negative 4 times negative 10. So, kapag tayo ay mag-multiply ng parehong signs, the product should be always positive. So, 4 times 10 is 40. And since they are both negative, the answer is positive 40. Next, 9 times negative 2. So, pag mag-multiply naman ng different sign, the product is always negative. So, 9 times 2 is 18. And since may isang negative, yung isa positive, they are different. The answer or the product is negative 18. Next, we have 144 divided by negative 12. So, same rule kay multiplication. If you are going to divide different sign, the quotient is always negative. So, 144 divided by negative 12 is negative 12. And lastly, we have 56 divided by 8. They are both positive. So, kapag same sign ang ating i-divide, the quotient is positive. So, therefore, the quotient here is positive 7. Now that we are done with our review, let us study properties of operations on integers. So, we have 7, and the first one is closure properties. So, yung closure properties ay nahahati sa dalawa. So, the first one is closure property of addition. If a and b are two integers, then a plus b is also an integer. So, kapag meron kayong dalawang integer na pinag-add ninyo, the sum of those two integer is also an integer. So, example, 4 plus 5 equals 9. So, as you can see, si 4 and si 5 ay integers, and the sum is also an integer. Another example, so si negative 8 is an integer, 19 is an integer, therefore, ang sagot din niya ay integer, which is 11. Next, aside from closure property of addition, meron din tayong closure property of multiplication. So, same lang. If a and b are two integers, then a times b is also an integer. So, let's have this one. 4 times 5 is equal to 20. So, 4 is an integer, 5 is an integer, and if we multiply the two integers, the product is also an integer, which is 20. So, we have here negative 8 times 19 is equal to negative 152. Negative 8 is an integer. 19 is an integer. Therefore, the product of the two is also an integer, negative 152. Now, question. Is the set of integers closed under subtraction? Let us see. So, we have here negative 6 minus 10. So, if we solve that, the answer will be negative 16. Negative 6 is an integer. Positive 10 is an integer. And negative 16 is also an integer. Okay, so dito, siya ay yes. What if baliktarin natin? Okay, so we have here 10 minus negative 6. The answer will be positive 16. So 10 is an integer, negative 6 is an integer, therefore the answer is positive 16. This is also an integer. So therefore, yes din, kahit baliktarin mo yung mga numbers sa subtraction. Therefore, the answer for this question is the set of integers closed under subtraction. The answer is yes. Closed pa rin sila kahit subtraction. How about this question? Is the set of integers closed under division? Let's see. 8 divided by 4 is equal to positive 2. 8 is an integer, 4 is an integer, and 2 is also an integer. So the answer here is yes. But if we reverse the two numbers, so magiging 4 divided by 8, integer kaya ang lalabas? If you do it on your calculator, 4 divided by 8 will give you an answer of 1/2 or 0.5. And 0.5 or 1/2 is not an integer. Okay? Therefore, the set of integers is not closed under division. Kasi hindi integer yung sagot kapag binaliktad mo yung ibang numbers under division. Next property tayo. Commutative properties. So, sa commutative properties, meron din tayong dalawa. So, the first one is commutative property of addition, which states that for any integers a and b, a plus b is equal to b plus a. Okay? So, example, negative 7 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus negative 7. Another one, 5 plus 10 is also equal to 10 plus 5. Ibig sabihin, kahit pagbaliktarin mo ang order ng mga pinag-a-add nating numbers, it doesn't change the answer or it doesn't change the sum. Pareho lang. The next one, we have commutative property of multiplication, which states that for any integers a and b, a times b is also equal to b times a. 4 times 5 is also equal to 5 times 4. And negative 8 times 19 is also equal to 19 times negative 8. So, ang ibig sabihin, kahit baliktarin natin ang order ng mga numbers na pinagmumultiply natin, the product would still remain the same. So, pag commutative property, kahit baguhin mo yung order ng mga numbers, kahit pagpalit-palitin mo sila, the product or the sum will always be the same. Next is we have the associative properties. Dalawa ulit yan. So, we have the associative property of addition. So, sabi sa associative property of addition, for any integers a and b, a plus the quantity of b plus c is also equal to the quantity of a plus b plus c. Okay. Ma'am, paano yan? Example. Okay, so let's have an example. So, sabi natin, so we have negative 2 plus 4, nakagrouping silang dalawa, plus 3, nakalabas siya sa grouping. Then, sa kabila naman, on the left side of our equal sign, si negative 2 nakahiwalay sa grouping, si 4 plus 3 naman ang magkasama. As you can see, the order of the numbers are still the same. Nasa unahan si 2, nasa gitna si 4, okay? And si 3 ay nasa dulo. Ang pinagkaiba lang is yung pagkakagroup. Okay? So, yung una, ang magka-group si negative 2 plus 4. Sa pangalawa naman, ang magka-group si 4 plus 3. Okay. So, ang isosolve muna natin, yung nandun sa may kaliwa. So, negative 2 plus 4 plus 3. So, kapag tayo ay nag-a-add ng merong parenthesis, tandaan natin ang PEMDAS. So, unahin muna natin lahat ng naka-parenthesis. PEMDAS. P stands for parenthesis. So, negative 2 plus 4, we will have positive 2. Then, copy lang si 3. So, this one, the answer is positive 2. And then, etong 3, ibababa lang natin. Okay? So, 2 plus 3, the answer is 5. Punta naman tayo sa kabila. So, let's bring down 2 and then add 4 plus 3. So, we will have negative 2, ayan si negative 2, and then 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. Okay? So, negative 2 plus positive 7, the answer is 5. Okay? So, as you can see, pareho lang yung sagot. So, ibig sabihin, the groupings does not affect the sum. Kaya tayo merong associative property. So, pangalawa sa associative property, we have the associative property of multiplication. It states that for any integers a and b, a times the quantity of b times c is also equal to the quantity of a times b times c. Example. Okay. So, ayan. As you can see, sa left side ng ating equal sign, si negative 2 plus 4 ang magka-grupo and nakahiwalay si 3. On the right side naman, nakahiwalay si negative 2, ang magka-grupo naman is si 4 times 3. Okay? So, ang isosolve muna natin ay yung nasa left side. So, negative 2 times 4, we will have negative 8, then bring down 3. Okay? Bring down lang. So, negative 8 times 3, we will have negative 24. On the other side, let us multiply. So, bring down negative 2, and 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Negative 2 times 12, we will have negative 24 also. Therefore, they are the same. They have the same products. So, again, sa associative property, it doesn't matter kung magkakaiba ang groupings. Magiging same pa rin ang kanilang sum o product. Next property, we have the distributive property. So, sa distributive property, for any integers a, b, and c, a times the quantity of b plus c is also equal to a times b plus a times c. Example. So, we have here negative 5 times, So, we have here positive 5 times the quantity of negative 4 times, let's have 5 times negative 4 plus 2. We have 5 times the quantity of negative 4 plus 2. So, kapag isosolve natin siya normally, uunahin natin yung parenthesis. So, negative 4 plus 2, we have negative 2, and then copy yung 5. 5 times negative 2 is, we have negative 10. But, if we use distributive property, it goes like this. So, 5 times the quantity of negative 4 plus 2. So, ang gagawin mo, you just have to multiply 5 in each number inside the parentheses. So, we will get 5 times negative 4 plus 5 times positive 2. Ayan. Nakamultiply si 5 doon sa dalawang number sa loob ng parentheses. And we will get here 20. So, 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. And 5 times 2 is equal to 10. And then copy the plus sign. Negative 20 plus positive 10, the answer will be negative 10. Okay. How about pag subtraction naman kaya? Same pa rin kaya yung mangyayari? Okay. So, let's have this one. 3 times 3 times the quantity of negative 3 minus 1 is equal to, okay? So, ang isosolve na natin ay yung nandun sa parenthesis, sa loob, ayan. So, negative 3 minus 1, we will have negative 4, and then bring down positive 3 sa unahan. And positive 3 times negative 4, the answer is negative 12. Now, let us try to distribute 3 inside the parenthesis. Ayan, so i-distribute natin. So, we will have, okay, ito yung 3. So, 3 times negative 3 minus 3 times 1. So, 3 times negative 3, we have negative 9 minus 3 times 1 is 3. Then, co-cha-cha, copy, change. Negative 9 minus 3, we will also have negative 12. Okay? So, pareho lang ang lalabas na sagot. The next property is called identity properties. So, dalawa ulit yan. The first one, we have identity property of addition. It states that for any integers a plus 0 is equal to a, or 0 plus a is also equal to a. And 0 is called the additive identity. So, bakit siya tinawag na additive identity? Kasi, kapag nag-add ka ng 0 sa kahit na anong number, katulad nito, pag nag-add ka ng 0 sa kahit na anong number, yun pa ring number na yun ang lalabas. Okay? So, pareho lang. Let's have these examples. Negative 8 plus 0. So, pag nag-add tayo ng 0, the answer is still negative 8. 0 plus 165 is equal to 165. Negative 1 plus 0, we have negative 1. So, same lang ang lalabas pag nag-add ka ng 0. The next one, we have identity property of multiplication. So, for any integers a times 1 is equal to a. 1 times A is also equal to A. 1 is called the multiplicative property. So, kaya siya tinawag na multiplicative property, again, kahit na anong number ang i-times mo sa 1, ang lalabas na number ay yung sarili niya. So, katulad nito, examples. Negative 8 times 1, the answer is still negative 8. 1 times 165 is also 165. And negative 1 times 1, the answer is negative 1. Identity pa rin siya doon sa ating number na tinimes kay 1. Next property we have, inverse properties. Meron ulit yung dalawa. Okay? So we have the inverse property of addition for any integers a plus negative a is equal to 0. Or negative a plus a is equal to 0. The sum of an integer and its additive inverse or negative is 0. Okay, so paano yan? Let's have an example here. So, si negative 8, pag inad natin si negative 8 and yung kanyang opposite na positive 8, the answer is always 0. If we add negative 165 and 165, magkabaliktad, isang negative, isang positive, the sum is 0. If we add negative 1 kay positive 1, the answer is, or the sum is, 0. So, that is inverse property. And the second one, we have inverse property of multiplication. So, sa inverse property of multiplication naman, for any integers a times 1 over a is equal to 1. Or, 1 over a times a is equal to 1. The product of an integer and its multiplicative inverse is 1. Example, negative 5 times 1 over negative 5 is equal to 1. So, ang multiplicative inverse ng negative 5 is 1 over negative 5. So, parang maglalagay ka lang ng 1 sa ibabaw ng mismong number. And the answer or the product is always 1. Another example, we have 17 times 1 over 17 is equal to 1. So, 17, the multiplicative inverse is 1 over 17. The next example, we have 1 over negative 35 times negative 35 is equal to 1. So, the multiplicative inverse of 1 over 35 or negative 35 is negative 35. And the product is 1. And lastly, for the seventh property, we have zero property. So, zero property is the easiest property of them all. So, ano ba yung zero property na yan? For any integers a times 0 is equal to 0, or 0 times a is equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, the product of any number and 0 is always 0. Example, negative 5 times 0 is equal to 0. 0 times 63 is 0. 0 times 4 times 9 times negative 2 is equal to 0. Thank you for watching. That's it for this video. If you learned something here, don't forget to like and subscribe to Cup of Teach. See you on the next lesson. Bye!